They say that 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. It is the golden ticket, the ultimate path to freedom, but there is a darker statistic that nobody talks about. For every tycoon popping champagne on a yacht, there is an investor drowning in debt, staring at a foreclosure notice, wondering where it all went wrong. Real estate is a wealth-building machine, but it has no loyalty. It will build you up or it will chew you up. Today, we decide which one happens to you. Welcome back to MonsterInvest. I'm your host, Daniel. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine you are driving through a neighborhood you love. Maybe it's an up-and-coming district with trendy coffee shops, or maybe it's a quiet, established suburb with old oak trees lining the streets. You see a house with a for sale sign in the yard. And for a split second, your brain does something dangerous. It starts to dream. You don't just see a house, you see a future. You see yourself painting the walls. You see tenants paying you rent every first of the month. You see the property value climbing year after year, a silent engine building your wealth while you sleep. We are obsessed with real estate. It's primal, it's tangible. You can touch it, you can stand on it. Unlike a stock ticker that flashes red or green on your phone screen, real estate feels real. But why are we so obsessed with it? It's not just about owning land. It's about survival. In a world where inflation eats your savings like a silent termite, cash is trash. If you leave $100,000 in a bank account for 10 years, it buys you less. But a house is a hard asset. When the price of bread goes up, the price of lumber goes up, and the price of your house usually floats up with it. It is a life raft in an ocean of printing money. But here is the brutal truth that most property gurus won't tell you. Real estate is not just an asset class. It is a business. And like any business, it can make you a fortune, or it can completely destroy you. Today, we are going to strip away the HGTV glamour. We are going to ignore the get-rich-quick seminars. We are going deep into the mechanics of investing in real estate. We will uncover the massive opportunities that create millionaires, and we will shine a light on the risks, the monsters hiding in the basement that create bankruptcies. To understand this properly, I don't want to just throw definitions at you. I want to tell you a tale of two investors. Let's call them Lucas and Emily. Lucas and Emily are identical on paper. They both have good jobs, good credit scores, and they both manage to save up $100,000 in cash. They both decide in the very same month that it is time to become a landlord. Let's start with Lucas. Lucas is what I call an emotional investor. He watches a lot of renovation shows. He wants a property he can brag about at dinner parties. He finds a beautiful Victorian-style home in a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood. It has character, it has high ceilings. It costs $500,000. Lucas falls in love. He pictures how cool it will look on Instagram. He takes his entire $100,000 and uses it as a 20% down payment. He maxes out his budget. He doesn't really check the age of the roof, and he ignores the fact that the furnace looks like it was built during the Cold War. He runs the numbers quickly on a napkin. He thinks, if I rent this for $3,000 a month, I'll cover the mortgage and make a little profit. And hey, houses always go up in value, right? Now let's look at Emily. Emily is what I call a boring investor. Emily doesn't care about curb appeal. She cares about return on investment. She finds a duplex, a two-family house in a working-class neighborhood near a large hospital and a university. It's ugly. It's a beige box. It's boring. It costs $300,000. Emily puts $60,000 down, that's 20%, but she keeps $40,000 in the bank as a war chest. She calculates the vacancy rate. She calculates the maintenance costs. She checks the local employment rates. She isn't buying a house. She is buying an income stream. Fast forward 6 months. Lucas is in trouble. That beautiful Victorian house. It turns out character is just a fancy word for expensive repairs. 2 months in, the main sewer line collapsed. That cost him $8,000. Since Lucas put all his cash into the down payment, he had zero reserves. He had to put that repair on a credit card with 18% interest. To make matters worse, he struggled to find a tenant who could afford the $3,000 a month rent he needed to break even. The house sat empty for 3 months. That is 3 months of mortgage payments coming directly out of Lucas's salary. He is stressed. He is fighting with his spouse. He feels trapped. The asset has become a liability. Meanwhile, Emily is sleeping like a baby. Her ugly duplex, it's fully rented. One tenant is a nurse, the other is a grad student. They pay on time. When the refrigerator broke in Unit A, Emily didn't panic. She used her war chest to replace it the next day. Because her mortgage is smaller, her monthly expenses are low. After paying the bank, the taxes, and the insurance, she still has $600 of pure profit, cash flow, hitting her account every month. Emily isn't bragging about her ugly house at parties, but her net worth is climbing every single day. So what is really happening here? Why is Emily winning and Lucas losing? It comes down to 3 specific concepts: leverage, cash flow, and liquidity. Let's talk about the opportunity first. The superpower of real estate is leverage. This is the concept that makes real estate unique. If you walk into a bank and ask for a loan to buy Bitcoin, they will laugh at you. If you ask for a loan to buy stocks, they might give you a little bit, but it's risky. But if you ask for a loan to buy a house, they roll out the red carpet. Why? Because real estate is stable. Think about Emily's deal. She put down $60,000 to control a $300,000 asset. If that property goes up in value by just 5%, that is a $15,000 gain. On her $60,000 investment, that is a 25% return in 1 year. That is the power of leverage. It magnifies your gains. It allows average people to control massive assets. The second opportunity is tax efficiency. In many parts of the world, the government wants you to provide housing, so they give you tax breaks. You can deduct the interest on your mortgage. You can deduct the cost of repairs. You can even deduct something called depreciation, which is a phantom expense that lowers your taxable income even though no money actually left your pocket. Emily is making money, but on paper, she might look like she's breaking even, meaning she pays very little in taxes. But now we have to look at the monster, the risks. The first risk is negative leverage. Remember how leverage magnifies gains? Well, it also magnifies losses. If the market drops by 10% and you only put 10% down, you have lost 100% of your equity. You are wiped out. This is what happened in 2008. People were over-leveraged. When the music stopped, they were left without a chair. The second risk, and this is the one that killed Lucas, is liquidity risk. Real estate is illiquid. You cannot day trade a bathroom. If you lose your job or you have a medical emergency, you cannot simply press a sell button and get your cash tomorrow. Selling a house takes months. It costs money in agent fees and closing costs. If you're forced to sell quickly, you will almost certainly sell at a loss. Real estate is a rich man's game because you need the staying power to wait out the bad times. The third risk is the operational risk. We call this the tenant, toilet, and trash factor. When you buy a stock, the CEO of the company doesn't call you at 2 a.m. to say the roof is leaking. But when you are a landlord, you are the CEO, the janitor, and the debt collector. Bad tenants can destroy your property. They can stop paying rent, forcing you into a legal eviction battle that can take months, all while you're still paying the mortgage. So how do we navigate this? If you want to enter this arena, how do you ensure you are an Emily and not a Lucas? Here is the strategy. Number 1, the numbers must work today. Never buy a property betting on future appreciation. Appreciation is gambling. Cash flow is investing. If the rent doesn't cover the mortgage, expenses, and a vacancy fund right now, walk away. Number 2, reserves are not optional. You must have 6 months of expenses sitting in cash before you sign the deed. The furnace will break. The roof will leak. It is not a matter of if, but when. Number 3, location is about economics, not aesthetics. Don't look for the prettiest street. Look for job growth. Look for population growth. Look for diverse industries. Emily bought near a hospital and a university, recession-resistant industries. Lucas bought in a trendy area that could cool down just as fast as it heated up. And finally, number 4, the sleep test. This isn't math, it's biology. Before you sign the papers, ask yourself, if this house sits empty for 3 months, will I sleep at night? If the answer is no, the deal is too risky. No amount of profit is worth your peace of mind. Real estate is not a passive investment. It is an active business that requires logic, patience, and a thick skin. It is a slow path to wealth, but it is a very reliable one if, and only if, you respect the risks. Before we wrap up, I want to crystallize this for you. If you take nothing else away from this episode, remember these key points. Summary of key learnings. First, real estate offers a unique, unfair advantage called leverage, allowing you to control high-value assets with a fraction of the cost. But remember, leverage cuts both ways. Second, cash flow is your shield. It protects you during market downturns. Appreciation is just a bonus. Always prioritize monthly income over potential future value. Third, liquidity is the silent killer. Real estate ties up your money. Never invest funds you might need in an emergency within the next 12 months. Finally, due diligence wins. The boring investor who checks the plumbing and the employment statistics will always outperform the emotional investor who falls in love with the architecture. Real estate can build you an empire, or it can build you a prison. The difference is in the preparation. I'm Daniel. This has been a MonsterInvest deep dive. Don't just dream about the house, run the numbers on the business. If you found value in this episode, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who is thinking about buying a house, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.